Hi, everyone. I'm Janet Hoffman. I'm a children's author from Wisconsin. I'm so happy to be here with you at the RVA Book Lovers Festival. Today, I'm going to talk to you about four of my books. The first one just came out recently, and it was published right here in Richmond, Virginia by Brandy Lane Publishers. And the story also took place here in Virginia. It's the Clothesline Code, the story of Civil War spies Lucy Ann and Dabney Walker. And the Walkers were enslaved um, on the south side of the Rappahannock River. And when the Union Army took over Falmouth, uh, they escaped to the Union camp there. And when General Hooker created an intelligence unit at the camp, the Walkers wanted to contribute in a big way. So they tried to figure out how they could send messages from General Lee's camp on the south side of the river to the Union camp on the north side of the river. And they came up with the idea of using clothes on a clothesline. And that they had used different color shirts and they moved the laundry in different ways. And because they decided to use laundry on a clothesline, that meant that Lucy Ann had to go back into Confederate territory, which was very risky for her. But she made it to headquarters and got a job there as a laundress. And so they had the signaling system going for about 2.5 months until the Union Army marched out to battle in the spring of 1863. And they're just such a good example of a couple, just an ordinary couple who did amazing things just with everyday items. And they didn't have to do all this. They just wanted freedom for everyone. And the book has back matter, which talks an afterword that talks about their life after the war. And they lived in Washington, D.C., and it also has references for the quotes that I use in the book, and also for the references for the sources I used in the book, many primary sources. Another hidden history story of mine is Midnight Teacher, the story of Lily Ann Granderson. And Lily Ann Granderson was enslaved in Natchez, Mississippi. And it was illegal in Mississippi to teach enslaved people to read and write. So Lily Ann had a school from midnight until 2 a.m. And she taught hundreds of students to read and write that way. And she left that legacy of all those students she taught. And then they taught their families, and some of them escaped north with forged passports or forged notes. And then her great grandson served in Congress for 25 years. Another hidden history hero is Robert Smalls. And he was the wheelman on a Confederate gunboat during the Civil War. And when he knew that the white officers were going to be ashore overnight, he and the rest of the enslaved crew they got their families aboard, and they went out just like they were going on an early morning run. And Robert Smalls knew the signals for going by all the forts in Charleston Harbor. So they went out bright and early and got safely past all the forts and delivered the planter boat to the Union Navy. And then Robert Smalls was a civilian pilot for the rest of the war. And then he also served 5 terms in Congress. And this book not only has this amazing escape story, but it also has sidebars about the causes of the Civil War, what kind of boats were used at that time, and other things, so that it sort of fleshes out what the time was like for kids reading this book. This chapter book is for grades 3 through 5. And in addition to my writing stories about heroes whose stories have been lost to history. I also do a lot of books about animals and nature. And this one came out this summer, A Bobby-Dazzler of a Pouch. And Joey, the little gray kangaroo, he had trouble finding his mom's pouch in a mob, which actually happens in real life. And so he asks a willy wagtail, which is a common bird in Australia, if he can have some of the bird's black tail feathers to use like little flags on the pouch. And then once Willie Wagtail says, sure, I'll give you some, then all the animals wanted to help out, and they gave him spines and flowers. And so his pouch, mom's pouch ended up looking like a Bobby-Dazzler. And I thought you'd like to see this Bobby-Dazzler of a pouch. Here it is. And the dingo is getting close, but you can see that Joey, with the pouch so decorated, he's going to make it right to his mom's pouch. And this book also has back matter. It has fun kangaroo facts, and there's some Australian words in the book. It has definitions of those, and it has definitions of all the plants and unique animals that are talked about in the book. You can find my books pretty much at any brick and mortar store or online, and booksellers are always happy to order books for you if they don't have it. And you can find out more about me and my books at janethoffmanauthor.com. Thank you so much for listening.